Well, hello, everybody. Good morning. Hey, it's Becky from Power Tools with Thread. You are in our Stitchuation room. This is a Monday through Friday virtual stitching retreat where you hang out in here with me and Frito and Dottie and follow me on my sewing journey. And I hope I can inspire or motivate you to put something under the needle. Let's see who we have here. Oh my gosh, y'all. I got to show y'all. When she looks up and those ears go up, can you, you can't see her. Let me back it up just a tiny bit. What are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah. Oh, there she is. Look at those ears go up, you guys. We just love that. Oh my goodness, we love that. You're our good girls. Get down. No, sit. There you go. Well, Frito doesn't have to sit, so she doesn't have to sit. You get one. She got two. This is a little chow hound, you guys. So Frito is a Queensland a stumpy tail cattle dog. She was born with her tail like that. And Dottie is a cowboy corgi. Yes, she is. She's good. Good. There you go. All right, girls, that's your treats. Everybody's seen you and said hello. You going to go brush your teeth? Yes. And one for you. Yes. Good girl. All right. Getting them trained, just like they have mommy trained. Yes. Thank you very much. So, yeah, they are adorable. Well, Frito's ears are up because her breed is that. And we're really hoping that Dottie's go up full-time. Of course, as puppies, they flop. Her brothers were up. I think it's from the same litter when we picked her up. But both of her parents, their ears are straight up. So when we got her, her ears were, tips were down below her eyes. And now they're up here above her little brown spots, her dots. So anyway, yeah, they are precious. And what a joy. You guys, I've had to change my whole life. Had to change my entire life. So now I can't even get out of the bedroom to get my coffee. I've got to do everything I need, shower and all of that ahead of time, because as soon as I open the bedroom door, all bets are off and the day has begun, right? Check out my new shirt. Can't we all just quilt along? Wouldn't that be nice? This is from Bee Inspired Tees. And what a nice fall color. I love the pumpkin, right? Awesome. Hey, you guys. Yeah, it is Giveaway Friday. Today, courtesy of Lady M, she gave me 12 of these On Wander Lane books to give to you. And I've got a couple, we've got some backlog. So Honeybee Hollow was June. Okay, so I'm going to give away June's today. And then I have got July's and August's in the queue for the rest of the month. We'll get caught up, right? Yes. Well, you're welcome, Scrapping Like a Lady. She said, thank you for telling us to go to the website to join. Right. So my membership, yes, animals first and then coffee. And that's hard for me. It's been a couple of years since I've done that. So the membership that is on my channel, you guys, all this content, and I need to explain this because some folks are thinking you have to join in order to watch, and you do not. The Stitchuation room will be free to watch all the time. And the membership has one video a month, and I'm still working on the first one. You guys give me a rest here. So I'm committing to one video a month, and I will be doing step-by-step snap-applique in there, or perhaps also I will do some embroidery videos where I'm creating something for me, and I'm just going to take you along with me in the process. So you're going to see what I'm doing. Now, I am no Lisa Shaw, who's an embrilliance educator. And so Lisa's content is Lisa's. And so I'm not replacing what she's doing because I don't do what she does. I'm not a digitizer. But I will be going through how I use embrilliance to do what I do. So when those videos come out, it will say members only. And if you are a member, then you'll be able to watch that content. It's 99 cents a month. It is a recurring. Thank you, Diane, for joining. I see you've got that. It's really easy to join on an Android device, or if you're on a desktop computer or a laptop. So, well, hi, Polly. Good morning. She's all caps. Good morning. She's ready to go. Hi. So if you're on an Apple device, it doesn't work through the YouTube app. Okay. You need to go to a browser. So you can join through a browser on an iPhone or an iPad, but so you need to go to like the Safari and type in YouTube. Okay. And then go up to the search bar and search Power Tools with Thread. All right. And get there. Then when you hit the subscribe, you'll go ahead and see the join button there. So that's kind of cool. All right. Well, hi, Elaine. She made it from Orlando. I'm looking forward to going to Orlando. I'm going to be teaching a Snapplique class in Orlando the end of February. Excuse me, you guys. I get to talking and it goes dry. Whoa, goodness sakes. Yeah, that's the next class I'm going to be doing. I'm so excited, you guys. So fall is always very busy. When is it not busy for me, right? So September, we have our RV Sew Together in El Campo, and we are full with 24 stitchers coming from all over the country in their motorhomes, or they're going to stay in the cabins, and we're going to have an amazing time. That's a lot of fun. Miss Bonnie has created a private Facebook group for the RV Sew Together. So be sure to join that. And if you don't Facebook, be sure to, like it's a verb, right? So if you don't do Facebook, be sure to email Bonnie and let her know. And if you're coming to the RV Sew Together, she'll be the one who, Nancy, if you want to go, you better get quick because I think they're full already. Yeah. So, or pretty close to it, but you might get on a wait list in case of cancellations. So, anyway, so we have the RV Sew Together in September, and then first weekend of October is Quilt Market, and I cannot wait to go to Quilt Market. I am going with media credentials. I just love quilts.com and Bob Ruggiero, who manages all of that. I don't know how he keeps his mind sane. And I cannot wait to go. I'm going to take my camera and shoot some video while I'm there and do some interviews with some of the designers. I just am so excited about that. I love to go into Quilt Market and see what's coming up for the new year, the new fabrics that are coming out. Then I share those with you, and you can go to your quilt stores and tell them, thank you, Shannon. You don't want to hide your membership? Oh, you don't have to hide it. Thank you for the super sticker, sweetheart. So you're going to be at Market with Ruth Stitchery. Awesome, Peggy. I'll look for you there. That'll be great. That's awesome. Really? That's amazing. Peggy, I thought you lived here. Ruth's in Colorado. Okay. So that'll be a lot of fun. I'll be sure to look you up. Yes, that'll be a lot of fun. And then the weekend after that is Quilt Festival, and I will be there. And my shirt came from Bee Inspired Tees. You guys have got a link below. If you'd use my link, I'd appreciate it. Click on the description box where it says more ... Click that, and the links are all down there. And then you're going to be able to go over there, and it's 15% off using my link. No coupon code required. So that's very cool. You hope you win today on your birthday. It's your birthday, Cindy? Happy birthday. Do we have birthday cake in our virtual kitchen? Usually it's somebody's birthday. So awesome. So Mull Queen's class only has 2 spots left in November. Yes, I will be at Mull Queen's. I think the weekend before Thanksgiving in November. Keith is not coming with me. He still has to stay home for the baby. She's not ready to be left with dog sitters just yet. So we're taking her with us to Orlando. We're going to take the motor home and go to Orlando. So let's see here. I want to see, does anybody know why your name is not in green even though you paid to join the membership? I don't know. I don't know, Diana. Yeah, if you are already a member, your name is in green. I'm not sure. And it has a little icon next to your name, a little round green dot with it. It looks like an S. It's weird. So anyway, well, I can already hear them singing happy birthday in the kitchen. That cake has no calories. While you're wandering in there, hit the thumbs up button and give the video a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Go ahead and do a hashtag Power Tools if you have not already. to win the Honeybee Hollow by Nancy Halverson for Art to Heart. This is the June version of her applique quilt. Awesome. Okay, you guys, so one more time, Snapplique. Let's talk about Snapplique. I just want to be very clear about this. Snapplique is creating digitized embroidery designs from paper quilt patterns that were never meant to be embroidery designs, okay? It is not just creating applique embroidery. So I want to be sure everybody's clear on that because we've got some confusion sometimes. All right. So today, after my eyes are watering, y'all. Let me take another sip. Hi, Carol Ann from Australia. Yay! My girls from down under are here. Y'all, oh my goodness. Anyway, today, as soon as I'm done with y'all, which I'm going to get done early, about 8:45, because I have almost an hour drive to go to a quilt store in Shirts, Texas, Stitched in Shirts. And I've got to pack up my Froggy machine right here and get this thing. Froggy, I really don't have a name for this. Anyway, so I got to pack up this machine and I'm going to a bag making class. And we're going to make a backpack. I can hear Frito barking, not Frito, Dottie. Hey, I left the bedroom door open. That's not good. She's not allowed on that carpet in there. Uh-oh. Hold on. I have to do some damage control. Daddy's at the sink and can't hear. Just a second. I got a puppy, y'all. Hold on. Where's Daddy? Where's he at? Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Where you going? No, no, no. Okay, thank you. All right, you guys. Good. Well, no, can't come in here either. Cords. Okay. Keith is saying, did you get in trouble? She's not in trouble. It was my fault. I left the, you did it, Teresa. Yay. Yeah, I left the bedroom door open. So we're still confining her world to as little as possible. Oh, it was so funny, y'all. I got to tell you. Puppy troubles. I know. This is my life, Kelly. I know. I'm sorry. That's unprofessional of me to leave. But if Daddy's otherwise occupied and there's a 10-week-old puppy running around, ooh. So Carol Ann, if it hasn't come up green, I don't think anybody has, I just don't think you joined the recurring membership, the 99 cents a month membership. A super sticker is not a membership. Can I take a color book picture? Oh, look at this, Connie. From pictures online and simply save to a flash drive and then directly to scan and cut. Yeah, you can, but I don't know what, I mean, if you want to do Snapplique, I would print it out and then scan it in, and that'll give you that picture. What does the blue star after your name mean? That means that you have been a member of a channel on YouTube for a certain period of time. Your star changes colors the longer you're members on certain channels. So we're all family. I know, Cheryl. Thank you so much for your grace. And I appreciate that. Where was I go? Oh, let me tell you what my mind, bing, bing, bing. So some puppy trainers recommend putting a house leash. Liz Rose wrote me about this morning. Put a house leash on your dog. You cut the end. It's just a long nylon leash, right? Maybe 4 or 5 feet long. And you cut the handle off so that it doesn't get caught on things. And that way the dog is, well, Gordon, you're green. You should be good. So as the dog wanders around, if they're going to get into something, you can step on the leash and stop them from going under whatever, getting into mischief or whatever. So yesterday, Keith was out in the outside trying to do some training with Dottie and had a long leash on her. And I was coming home from UPS and I'm coming up the driveway and my husband is on his hands and knees in the driveway looking under the Bronco. Dottie's under his Bronco parked and her leash got wedged under the tire and she wasn't coming out. Next thing I know, he's on his stomach trying to pull her. It's hilarious. I'm just sitting in the driveway looking over the steering wheel laughing. Puppy life. Okay, so class today is a backpack class. that's going on at Stitched In Shirts. And I decided to use, so this is the Missouri Star signature pattern. They've licensed this pattern. They have their logo on it and all this stuff in the bag, but they also have Missouri Star fabric. So yesterday I spent time getting all my pieces ready because you have to pre-quilt and get everything ready. So the pre-quilting was done, but I love what Harriet showed me how to do from Quilting with Harriet. So you need to sew whenever you make these bags, whether it's a buy any bag or this one's not buy any that I'm making. So, yeah, Kathy Ann says your dog got tangled in the cords and cables in the basement. Yeah, some living environments are not conducive to house leashes, and ours is not. We have too many obstacles. So when you make these, when you pre-quilt your fabric with this, because this, I kept calling it bianni, and I should have been saying soft and stable. I don't know what I was thinking of. So here's the inside of the bag, the lining, and here's the outside. So you're supposed to seal off, after it's quilted, you're supposed to seal off these edges so that you don't get gappies, right? I do not want to do that. So Harriet taught me how using Pro Stitcher. There is a block in there that is just a square. And then you can take that square and you change it to the exact size that you want your piece to be, okay? And if you look, I've got 2 lines of stitching. See that? So here's my sealed off line. And then you're supposed to cut it 1/4 of an inch away right there. Okay. So what I did is I made the box. The exact size that the piece needs to be as according to the pattern. And then I stitched another box 1/2 inch larger. So I had an extra 1/4 inch on each side, top and bottom, all the way around 1/2 inch larger. So the long arm did the sealing of the edges for me and created cut lines. It was amazing. I think that is a fantastic method and I absolutely love it. So I got all of these. This was pre-quilted several days ago, and then I got my boxes done and cut yesterday. And then I spent some time going through and cutting my fabrics. Now, these are the bias binding, okay? So Fat Quarter Shop has come out with some alpha clippies. I haven't used them yet because I had a lot of alpha biddies already. And I found these 1 inch, I don't have them linked in my Amazon store, y'all. I found these 1 inch clips. I was going to give them a try and put my existing alpha biddies on them. Okay. The glue, even though it's square, because most of the ones you see on Amazon are rectangular, but the glue is larger than the alpha biddy. So it's got some glue kind of sticking out. Not a big deal. But so I haven't opened up my alpha clippies yet. They came in the mail. I'm just waiting to see how these worked. These are a hack. If you've already got alpha biddies, someone showed on Facebook, they went and got some clips, but they didn't link. Thinking a dog. They didn't link to the clips that they got. The jury's out on this. I dropped one after I pulled off the adhesive, and of course it came up full of dog fur, right? So there's that. So far, so good. We'll see. I don't know. The Fat Quarter Shop does have amazing stuff. I know. I love them. All right. So that's what's going on in my world today. Get out of here. Pack my tulip pink rolling trolley. I love that thing. Crazy expensive, but worth it. Baby powder. Yeah, I can do that, right? I didn't think about that. That's a great idea. Let's see. Baby powder on the extra sticky. We'll get rid of it. Heidi, aren't you smart? That's great. Okay. Well, isn't that nice, Gordon? Your son converted your Amish shed into a craft room. Nice kid. Love it. So again, we're doing, okay, Casey, I need to do a video on how to do that. You weren't following it. Yeah. So essentially what you do after you get all your fabric quilted, the lining, the soft and stable, and the top fabric, after you get it all quilted, then you just go through by the pattern. You're going to find a box. You got to create a box in your automation software and just make the box the same size as what the pattern says. And that's the seam that seals off your edges. And then make another box a little bit bigger than it. And that is your trim line. So you did your thumbs up, Scotty Dog. You came out of the kitchen long enough to do that. That's awesome. Thank you. Okay, you guys. So today, I was working yesterday a little bit. I have not been able to sew the way I like with that dog. I'm telling you, she's changed my life. So the other day I showed y'all how to use the Tri-Rect tool to make the steeples on the Things Above quilt. I have a lot of new subscribers. So for those of you that are new, I've done this before on the channel, but I just want to go through it again and show you what I'm doing. I use this method anytime I need to make half square triangles or quarter square triangles, okay? So this is the Things Above quilt kit that I got from the Fat Quarter Shop. These are out. They don't have any more of them. You might be able to find them online, like Etsy or whatever. There might be some private sellers that have them. And I was showing how to use that Tri-Rect tool to create the steeple. I got a perfect 4.5 inch triangle and a rectangle using that Tri-Rect tool. And I went over my ironing methods and pressing, like I said, my pressing methods and all of that. And okay, so that got that done. It turned out absolutely perfect. I went ahead and while I had the Tri-Rect tool there, I went ahead and cut the next 11 side pieces. I got in, these are in pairs. Okay, so I got those done. And then life happened and that was the end of that. And I had to put this away. So I have not one, I said I only had one. I actually had two more. Y'all can see there are 2 Ohio stars on top of each of these. Okay, 2 Ohio stars. YouTube gave you back your name. They sure did, Debbie. How about that? Awesome. Yeah, I bet that was a mess for them. I'm sure people complained left, right, and center. Okay. Sure did. That's amazing. So I have all of these done. Doing Ohio stars, which is, so an Ohio star is a quarter square triangle, 4 of them. Quarter square triangles. These can be very, very tricky if you are a new quilter. I love to make them, but I had to learn the hard way, making them and being very frustrated by following a pattern until I finally learned a method that works fabulous. Okay, so I put the rulers and the rest of them in here. Yeah, you're Dee Dee again. Yay, that's funny. That just happened midstream, didn't it? Yeah, that's amazing. Okay. Also, for those of you who ordered the Yazzie Quilters project bag, that great big tall one that holds the trays and everything you need in a whole kit, those bags, last I heard, are in customs and they're under inspection. Okay. As soon as those are out, they'll be released and everything will be shipped to Paducah where Yazzie bags go out. So just an FYI, they're still waiting. Those of you who pre-ordered that Yazzie bag, okay? Okay. So in this pattern, I want to show you how they tell you, which drives me bats. when they start talking about how to make the Ohio star blocks, if you're a brand new quilter and you see something like this, I'm on page 5 of this pattern for those of you who have it. They want you to take, let me see here, with right sides together, layer a print 3 1/4 triangle with an off-white 3 1/4 triangle and sew a 1/4 inch seam along the bias edge. So the cutting instructions tell you to cut these squares into triangles right there and sew the triangle together like this, and then open it up and press. That step right there is a recipe for disaster for half square triangles. It's because what happens when you cut a square on the diagonal? Bias, right? Now you have stretch. And when you have stretch, warp. It's a disaster for half square triangles. So what I do, where they say they've got the 3 1/4 inch triangle, I increase the size of the square by a 1/4 inch or so, whatever, and a 1/4 inch will do. Sometimes a 1/2 inch, increase the size of the square. All right. And then what you do, and I don't have anything here to show you how to do that because I did them yesterday. But what you do is you use a 1/4 inch seam guide. Now this one is from Creative Grids. Got to keep to the integrity of the project. That's right. No bias. We don't like sewing. I don't like cutting on bias at all because that just is a recipe for disaster. I'm going to show you how to make the 1/4 square triangles right now. So a 1/4 inch seam guide. This one is from Creative Grids. Okay. What you do is you draw, it has a line through the center of it and it's got gaps so you can see your fabric. Okay. So you're going to put this on your square and you draw down both sides. So you've layered your fabrics. I should have kept one to show you guys, but I didn't. I need to do that. Let me get a couple of scraps out of my bin here. Oh, let me get a couple of scraps out of my bin and I'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. They want you to cut this into a square into a triangle, which, like I said, recipe for disaster. Let me have this. That's got selvage. And let me have this. And I need to cut squares just so you guys can see what I mean. I'm going to do both of these at the same time. What do we have here? We have a 4 inch, right? Let's make 3 inch squares. I know, isn't that funny? Long armers, not farmers. Isn't that funny? YouTube, autocorrect. Okay, I'm going to do this with, I don't have, let's see. We'll use, how big is this? This is 3 1/2. Okay, we'll do 3 1/2 inch squares. Why not, tater tot? Okay. Okay, so here's our 3 1/2 inch square. What I've got here, let me turn this on. So what I have here are 2, and you want to make a half square triangle. And when the instructions tell you to cut this in half, resist the urge. Okay, so let's say I was supposed to cut these to 3 1/4. I cut them to 3 1/2. All right, so now you just layer them on top of each other. And even if you have an extra one, you can just put it in your stash if you only need one, but resist the urge, really. Okay, so now I'm going to take my 1/4 inch seam guide. And if you don't have a 1/4 inch seam guide, it's the solution for that, I'll show you. So with the 1/4 inch seam guide, you draw a line down each side of the seam guide, and that's your sew line. If you don't have a 1/4 inch seam guide, draw a line from corner to corner, okay? And then get your ruler and measure 1/4 inch from that line and draw your other line, okay? And rotate the mat and draw the other line. And that is how you get by without having one of those cool 1/4 inch seam guides. They're very handy, you guys. I highly recommend you get one. You'll love it. So what you have here is the center is marked, but so is my, oh, good, Kathy, you got your tri-rec. Awesome. So is my stitching lines. My stitching lines are there. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew on those stitching lines. Get this out of the way. Phone right there. So let's get this sewn up. And I'm going to go up and down both sides. Let me turn y'all. You can see my machine here. Okay. So I'm sewing on the bias before I cut on the bias. And that is going to save you so much grief. So much grief. This is what you've got. After you sew this, so essentially what I did, I cut it 1/4 inch larger than the pattern called for. That's not going to eat up into your fabric allowance. You'll have plenty. You should. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to cut on this center line. You can do it with a rotary cutter or you can do it with scissors, whichever you like. I'm just going to freehand this. I'm going to hold these points. Okay. So now I have 2 half square triangles that are perfect. There's no bias bend in these, okay? There's no stretch at all that occurred because the stitching stabilized the bias, okay? Really, really important if you're going to be making half square triangles. So then, once you've got that done, and that's what I have here, to make a 1/4 square triangle, you take 2 of these. Hey, they match. Isn't that nice? And you put them opposite. Okay. That's what I'm doing here. I'm just putting these opposite and I'm matching up that center seam. And I'm just kind of feeling. Now, don't press your seams open. Press them to the side. You want to press your seams to the side so that you can feel with your fingers, you can feel that seam. I feel like I need my glasses and they're not on my head today. 2 half square triangles for the price of 1. That's right. You embroiderers that are budgeting quilters. Is that the word? Burgeoning, budgeting, beginning? I love language. Okay. So I'm putting these together and I am nesting those seams so they look like that. Okay. Then I'm going to pin this in one side of this seam allowance and out the other to anchor it. See that? A tiny bite in one side of the seam allowance and out the other to anchor it. Now it's really important you keep those middles snugged up. Best friends. They need to be besties. Attached at the hip, as the saying goes. Okay. I'm going to pin this side of it. I don't want these guys moving around. All right. Now I'm going to take my 1/4 inch seam guide again, or you can do it the other way I showed y'all. And if you stitch at 1/8 of an inch inside of the marked line, you're going to have even more little bit extra to be able to work with trimming. Whoop. That got moved. No big deal. Make my line again. This is my sew line. Okay. And I'm going to sew on both of these. I'm going to put the toe of my foot just to the outside of that line, and I'm going to sew a tiny bit inside. What you're doing is you are eating into your seam allowance a tiny bit, and it doesn't matter because it's your seam allowance, right? It does not matter. But you're giving yourself, you can see my stitches are a little tiny bit inside of those lines I drew. But again, I don't have any bias edges that are hanging out. Okay, so now that has been stabilized. And I'm going to cut it apart. And if the stars lined up, everything should be fine. So now I'm just going to cut this down the middle. And y'all, I just wing it. Again, your seam allowance doesn't matter so long as you're not into it. And you get a perfect quarter square triangle every single time. Perfect. No bias, no tugging, no nothing. Perfect. You're welcome, Ellen. Half square and quarter square triangles are used so often in quilting. And if you run across a pattern, like I'm telling y'all, you run across a pattern and it says cut that square in half diagonally and sew those two triangles together. First of all, you have to use leaders and enders or some kind of leader to pull it through, because it doesn't happen on this machine because it's a straight stitch. So it has a teeny tiny single hole that the fabric doesn't get pulled down inside. But if you have a standard sewing machine, you're going to need to do something to get that point started. It's awful. Awful. I heard a lady the other day on a YouTube video. She said, always, always, always use a leader, which is just a little square of fabric. Lori Holt uses them all the time when she sews because she's on one of those old featherweights. And that thing will eat a piece of fabric and thread in a heartbeat. I know that. Miss Texas is not here. She had to go to the doctor. So, and then you can just save your other if you only need one, right? But odds are you need more than one, especially for Ohio Stars. And once you get these, you can press the seams open if you so choose. I generally don't choose. I'm not a seam open kind of girl. It takes too much time, and I don't think that provides a strong I'm not smart, Donna. I'm not smart. I'm experienced. There's a difference. Not smart, just experienced, because I had so many fails. Okay. So now these are supposed to be 2.5 inch square, half square triangles. Okay. So now I can take my ruler here. I don't have my square up, my 2.5 inch square up ruler is somewhere else. Where do I have this one? Does this have a mark on it? I think it does. 2.5. No, these are for flying geese. That's a flying geese square up. Totally different. Oh, here. Oh, that's 3.5. I'll wing it. I'll wing it. Let's see. I just need to make sure I have more than 2.5 on the other side. Do y'all know how to square up using these things? It's so easy when you have an actual piece of acrylic, the right size, but sometimes you don't. So let's say I don't, okay? Again, not smart, just experience. I want to zoom in so you guys can see what I'm doing. Zoom in here. Okay, so what I want to do here, I do have a 2.5 inch square up, but I'm going to show you how to do it if you don't. It's in another thing. I'd have to get up and move. So a lot of rulers will have that diagonal line right there, okay, right in the middle. So I'm going to make sure that diagonal line is on one of the diagonal lines on the box, on the fabric. Right now it is. Okay, So the 2.5 inch mark. Oh, and y'all be careful. This is a 5.5 inch ruler. So there's an extra half out here underneath this. Okay. Don't use that side. Use the side that does not have the half. Make sure your beginning square is a full inch. Okay, that's important. So I'm going to lay it down, and I want to make sure that the 2.5 inch mark, that's actually right here. Okay, it's actually right here. Do I have any washi tape that I could show y'all? I don't think I have any washi tape here that I could put on the ruler and show you. You can mark it with washi tape if that makes you happy. So I just want to make sure that my diagonal line is on my square, okay, my quarter square triangle, and it's even. So the line is even. And if you need to scooch it, you can do that, okay? I've got extra fabric hanging out here around two sides, and the 2.5 mark, I can see fabric on the other side of it. So let me bring this down just to make sure. This is a pretty straight, because you can see here, this is the 2 3/4 line right there, and it's straight on there. That looks good. Okay. So you want to make sure you can see a little bit of extra fabric on the outside of the 2.5 inch mark, under the ruler and outside of the ruler. Okay, so there's that half done. Now I'm going to trim up the other half, and I'm going to make sure that the point here is exactly at the 2.5 right here. See that? So that's exactly at the 2.5 right there. You want the line, the diagonal line. You need a diagonal line. Find you a ruler with a diagonal line for sure. That needs to be on there. Okay. And this is going to be a perfect 2.5 inch quarter square triangle when I get it trimmed. So like I said, if you have a 2.5 inch little piece of acrylic, because they make them, but you know, why spend that kind of money if you know the old school way of doing this? This is how people did it before we came up with all those little acrylic pieces. Okay, and that looks really good. There, I need to do my next one. And so when you get to where you're doing these a lot, okay, so some people will take washi tape and tape right along that 2.5 inch mark and make sure that, you know, they've got, the only reason I don't like that is if I don't have fabric, I want to make sure I can see fabric on the other side of that line. So you have to make sure your diagonal line is on your seam so that you don't get stubby points. Stubby points are no good. Okay. And again, now I'm putting it right at the 2.5 inch mark here and here. See, if you have it like off just a little bit, let me make it off so you can see what I'm talking about. Where's the 2.5 right there? If it's off just a tiny bit right there, see how that, you can see a little bit of white right here at between the diagonal and the orange, you'll get a stubby seam. Okay. Yeah, that's absolutely right. Lynn, you are right. Small little templates can be unstable, especially when they've got a seam that they can rock on a little bit. See, like this is unstable. It's moving around. Plus, I'm not standing up. Standing up is very helpful. But some people can't stand up. Some people have to do this sitting down. All right, and we've got a perfect quarter square triangle again. See how both colors come to the point. That's exactly. There's not a video for membership. Why do I start halfway and then back up when cutting? That is because, Charlene, it's again, it has to do with the stability of the ruler. I found when I'm doing this kind of thing, if I start here and go this way, I shove the fabric. That's just me personally. If I start in the middle and kind of cut it and back up, my fabric doesn't shift because you've got a lot of seams under here doing their thing. It works, obviously, right? You want to make sure that they're both colors meet the point exactly. That's a perfect quarter square triangle. So that's the lesson, y'all. Don't cut on the bias and sew it together. Recipe for disaster. And when you're making these kinds of blocks, you also need to make sure that you oversize them so that you can trim them down. That is the best lesson for that. So the pattern said to cut 3 1/4. I cut 3 1/2. And that's the best way. So it's not a membership site, Martha. You're in the right place. When I post videos, it'll say underneath the video, it'll say members only. And then you can watch it because you're a member. Okay. The people who are not members will be encouraged to join the membership if they are not. You are in the right place. That's another reason I chose to do memberships, so that on YouTube, one, YouTube's hosting my content. I don't have to worry about some other site going down or paying somebody else. And then you're already here anyway watching videos. And if you're a member, then you're going to be able to watch the exclusive member content because it'll say members only. You're welcome, Carolyn. She says, thank you for a great lesson. You are very welcome. I'm going to be late. Oh, Lord, you're right. I got to go. All right, y'all. Let's do the giveaway, shall we? Shall we? Let me check my giveaway tool. We have 667 entries. Y'all, I love how you keep me organized. You're just like my husband. He says, are you taking a machine? I was like, oh, I got to pack my machine. All right, y'all. Last call for hashtag Power Tool. Dave isn't here. I haven't seen him, so he must be flying today. Has there been a members only video posted yet? No, I just started this 3 days ago, you guys. No, there will be a video a month though. Please hit like. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So let's do this. I'm going to share my screen with y'all. And let's do the giveaway tool. We're going to share and go. Oh, I think I forgot to say US shipping only, please, but that's kind of a standard, right? Who we got? Who we got? Don't you hate seeing your name go by? Debbie Watson, congratulations. That's awesome. You're going to love this book. It's adorable. There's some adorable designs in here. Debbie, please send me an email, powertoolswiththread@outlook.com, and tell me where you want me to mail this. I will get it out in the mail to you no later than Monday, okay? If I do not hear from you by Monday, then it's going to go to the next person who was right before you on the drawing. Awesome. Congratulations, Debbie. I love it when I see familiar names that have been watching me for a while win. It's always so fun. I love to see everybody win. That's always so fun. All right, you guys. I hope you have a fabulous weekend. Wish me luck at my bag class. Bags and I, we don't get along, but I'm going to give it the old college try again. So, y'all, be sure to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, join for exclusive content, and I will see you guys on Monday. Y'all go sew something. Bye.